I'm going to give you a quick little review for decimals because now that we finished Unit 5, which was our fraction unit, our second part of the fraction unit, we're going to get back into decimals. We're going to talk about powers of 10, and you'll know what that means in a few weeks. And then we're also going to be multiplying and dividing decimals, but for today's assignment, I wanted to give you a little review of what we covered in our last decimal unit just to kind of get your brains thinking back on decimals and out of fractions, okay? So the first thing I just want to do, and I will have a resource put up on Google Classroom just to help us with this, to give us another visual of where the numbers fall as far as place value goes. But I wanted to show you here. We've got a number, a whole number, and then a decimal, right? So remember that the decimal is this period. It looks like it's a dot, okay? That's the decimal. And anything in front of it is a whole number, and anything behind it is not a whole number. It's a piece of a number, right? A fraction of it, so to say. So you've got your decimal point here, ones, tens, hundreds. If I had a fourth number there, that would be thousands, okay? And then behind the decimals where we learned those new terms, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, okay? We haven't gone any further than thousandths, so if you've got one number behind the decimal, you know that's your tenth. Two numbers behind the decimal would be your hundredths, and three numbers behind your decimal would be thousandths, okay? So this should start coming back to you a little bit, but I am going to just do a little bit of practice here and get you all set up, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is, make sure you can see this, is word form, okay? So you know your place value here, you'll have your chart up, but when I say that I want decimals written in word form, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to remind you how to do that, okay? So let's say my decimal was 2.1, okay? I'm going to read that, and I'm going to know that my 2 is my whole number, and it's in my ones column, okay? I'm just going to think about that a little bit. And I've got one number under after the decimal point, so that's going to be my tenths. So if I was to write this out in words or say it, I would say 2 and, because remember that decimal point, we say and for that. So it would be 2 and 1/10, because that's all I have there is 1/10. So I would write it like this: 2 and 1/10. Okay? 2 and 1/10. You could also write it like this: 2 and 1/10. Either way would be right, okay? But that's how you're going to write it. Now let's say that I had another number. Oh gosh, my makeshift board here is going to fall over. Okay. So let's say I had a number that looked like this. Let's actually throw another number in there. So if I was to say this in words, it would be 14 and 62 what? It's not 62 tenths because I've got two numbers behind the decimal. So that would bring me to 62 hundredths, okay? And I would write that as 14 and 62 hundredths. It's really important, guys, to remember that ending of those words if you're talking about tenths, hundredths, and thousandths, okay? Because it could very easily get confused with the tens, okay? So just remember to pay attention to that. All right, so that's it for your place value, your word form reminder. I'm going to talk a little bit more about expanded form because this is what you're going to work on today. And I think you'll remember it really easily once we start it, but I want to just see, or show you, I should say, show you some examples. Okay, so I'm going to take this off too for the time being so I have a little bit more room. All right. So if I had a number that was written like, let me see, I want to zoom in here because I want to kind of give you ones that I will be giving you. Okay, let's try this one. 54.38. So 54 and 38 hundredths. Okay, I am going to, my face was really close to the camera there, sorry. I'm going to stretch this out. So remember, expanded form is stretching it out. So I'm going to look at each of these numbers in its place, and I'm going to stretch it out and make it one big addition sentence. Okay, so my 5 is in my tens, okay? So I know 5 tens is 50. Plus 4 plus, now you're just going to follow this number along and add up each individual number, okay? So that's going to be plus 0.3 and then plus point, and look at where your 8 is, so that needs to be a 0, 0, 8. So I'm looking at this and I say I have 5 tens, that's 5 tens. 4 ones, that's 4 ones. 3 tenths, there's 3 tenths, and 8 hundredths. And that's how you write 8 hundredths, okay? I hope that this is starting to come back to you a little bit. Just put my hair up. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try a bigger one. Let's try okay. 302 and 935 thousandths. So I got my 3 in my hundredths column, so I know that that's going to be 300. Do I have anything in my tens? I don't, right? So I'm just going to leave that. Just don't even put it in because we don't have anything there. Okay? Then I'm going to go to my ones. I've got 2 ones. So I know that if I have 300 plus 2, that would give me 302. Okay? Plus, and then just go number by number. 0.9 or 9 tenths plus 0.03 for 3 hundredths plus 0.00 because we're covering up those 5, and that's for your 5 thousandths. So this was the unit that we had done in January and into February, okay, before we went to fractions. So I hope that this is sparking some memory. It's pretty easy once you get going. I know that you guys will be good with remembering this, okay? I'll do one more expanded, and then I want to talk about comparing decimals. All right. So let's look at, I could just make these up, but, you know, sometimes my brain's a little tired by the end of the night. All right, let's do 27.06. Okay, now that would bring us into 27 and 6 hundredths. Even though there's a 0 in the tenths, you can't just move that number over and take over the 0, okay? That number 6 is in the hundredths column, so this number is going to be 27 and 6 hundredths. So I've got 20 tens, 7 ones. I don't have any tenths, so I'm not even going to put anything. If you wanted to put 0.0, I mean, you can, but you really don't have to. Okay? And then 0.06. All right. So there's that. That's your expanded form for decimals. We covered this in Unit 4. It should be a little refresher for you. And we're going to talk about comparing decimals now. Okay, so when we're comparing decimals, we're talking about greater than, less than, and equal to, right? So remember what I said. It doesn't matter how long a number is, okay? What matters is that you are matching up those places. So if I had a number that was like this, okay, 1.3, and I was comparing it to 0.9364, just because this number is longer, it has more numbers, doesn't mean it's bigger. Remember, we start at the front, the first part of your number, and I've got 1 and 0 here. Well, which one's bigger? Is 1 bigger than 0? Yes, it is. Okay, 1.3 is greater than 900. Oh, this is actually, I won't even get there. Maybe I'll take that 4 off because I don't want to confuse you. 936 thousandths, okay? So when we're comparing decimals, we want to really look at them number by number. So let's look at 3.5. Let me write this over this way, sorry, so we're kind of matched up. 3.54 and then 3.45. I'm going to start at the front. My 3, that's the same. Go to the next number. 5 and 4, which is greater? The 5. Okay? You might have one that looks like this. 6.8 and 6.800. This one can be tricky. 6, 6, 8, 8. And then I've got nothing, but remember, those zeros can go in the back as far along as they need to go. This would be equals, 6.8 and 6.8. I could always take those zeros off the back of the number, okay, the end of that number, and then it would give me that equal. So I could add as many zeros I want towards the end of a number, but I can't insert them in the middle. I couldn't put 6.08. I can't throw an 8 in the middle there, okay? We'll try one more. Let's do 2.7, and this one will be easy. 2 and 43, right? Or even just 2 and 4. We know that this one is bigger. So you're going to be doing a expanded form worksheet, and then you're going to be doing a comparing decimals. This shouldn't take you too long, okay? It shouldn't be very hard. Refer back to my video anytime you need to, but then also if you need to ask me any questions, just, message me on Hangout, or, we can do a little audio or video chat if you want. But I think that this should be pretty good for you. And then when you're done, just submit it to me, and you'll be done for math for the day. All right? Talk to you later.